Hey guys, what's up everyone? Welcome or welcome back again to another video tutorial lesson from the Apex Predator Billiards Training Club. My name is Apex Elenio, your aspiring professional pool player and pool instructor, and we are back at it again with yet another 10-ball break and run analysis that's coming from my training sessions as I improve, or as I aim to improve my game step by step. Of course, this particular rack here highlighted more positives than negatives. Of course, there were some lessons that I learned through my mistakes, through my decisions. Of course, we're going to be looking at position play. Added to this, we're going to be looking at the push out strategy, kicking, of course, capitalizing on errors made by your opponent, and of course, simply just overall moving forward as you learn from your own mistakes. So of course, if this is the first time here on the channel, consider smashing the subscribe button below, leaving some positive questions and comments. Of course, if the video is of any value to you whatsoever, consider leaving a like on the video. All right, so of course, let's jump right into the break shot here. As I would have shown you times and times over, that single-handedly the break is one of the most important aspects of the game. Getting a good break, getting a good spread, and having a look at the lowest numbered ball is always hindsight, ideally what we would like, but it's not always going to work out the way how we want it to, and we have to make do with what we have. So let's have a look here at this break shot here. All right, fairly good break here. I got very fortunate in terms of the cue ball staying into the middle of the table there or thereabout. It had a really solid knock onto one of the object balls, which killed the speed. Here you'll see on the replay that the break was fairly good. It went to the other side. Obviously, I didn't hit that head ball as full as I possibly can, but it didn't work out. It wasn't successful, neither in terms of me getting a look at the lowest numbered ball or in terms of me pocketing an object ball. Well, did I? I think I did. Let's see here. No, I didn't pocket an object ball. All right, now the push out. You would have seen in one of my previous tutorials that this is also a very important aspect of the game. And I won't go into the details of the strategy behind the push out, but pushing out is going to be key because you're leaving your opponent with a tough shot that you think you can make, and at the same time hoping that he gives you back the option. If your opponent decides to take on the shot, then that could put you at a serious disadvantage. Now, I had a look here at the jump, but obviously it's obviously ridiculous here to go for a jump shot at this point in the game. The position is not guaranteed here on the 2, so I'm looking here that if I can push this cue ball here and give my imaginary opponent here a thin cut onto the 1, then that will give him something to think about, maybe give me back the shot or whatever the case may be here. Now, this is perhaps the worst push shot that I've ever done since I've known myself learning the art of the push out, because my opponent has a fairly good pot here on the 1. It's a thin pot, but why I decided to push it there is obviously because I thought that the position on the 2 would not be easily attained. It's very thin, and I'm not sure if this was actually a real game with a real opponent, if I would have actually pushed it there or if I would actually take on the shot. But I obviously thought that, hey, the shot is potable, and if I can somehow control the speed of my cue ball here and land anywhere into this zone or into the middle of the table zone here, I would still have a pot here on the 2. So I don't think that this was the best push out strategy, but of course it's a learning process for me. So going down here and to pot this 1, nice clean cut here. Cue ball obviously went into a direction that I knew that it would have gone into, but fortuitously here I've landed nicely here on the 2. Now I have a cut here on the 2, little difficult in terms of getting position. You'll see here that I want the cue ball to be anywhere within that zone here. that would be ideal, but the cut is so thin that I may have to go for the double. So if I can somehow bank this 2 ball and perhaps bring the cue ball anywhere down into that zone that I had intended, then that would be ideal to land here on the 3. Now there's an element of safety that I'm also thinking about here, because if I can bank this 2 and perhaps bank it on the short side, then I can still make the bank and get position on the 3, and if I miss the bank, I will leave my opponent a tough shot here. So I went through my calculation and calibration moments ago, and you'll see here that I'm going for the bank. Now this is a cross corner inside bank, so I have to be very careful. Now the speed obviously did not help me there. I needed a bit more speed on that shot. I fortuitously landed into a safe zone here, and these things happen in practice. In real matches, you will play a shot with the intent of getting position onto your next ball, but where it has landed actually prevents my opponent from getting out. So that was a two-way shot. Obviously didn't work out into the two-way that I wanted it to, but I landed safely here. Now obviously, even though my opponent doesn't have a clear putt, the kick shot is very makeable using the SID system here, and of course you can check out that video on how to make kick shots like these. Again, fortuitously I landed into a safe position here. You'll see there on the replay that the 2 ball there almost got into the pocket, but I needed a bit more spin to land perfectly for the putt. Now I got a carom onto the 4, and it really hooked my opponent here on the 2. Alright, so nice little safety exchange here. Little bit of luck, little bit of fortune in terms of the layout so far, but I love this aspect of the game. The aspect of the game where you have to be thinking strategically, and you have to be using a lot of systems to really think throughout the game. Now a lot of players haven't gotten to this level where they're not only thinking about making the kick, but I'm actually thinking about making the kick and actually getting the object ball safe. This is one aspect of the game that I've been struggling with for quite a while. I've gotten some success, but I've gotten more failures than success. But I'm dedicated to improving the kick safe aspect of my game, and of course I hope that you guys will continue on that journey with me here. Now it's 10 ball, so I'm calling the shot. The 10 ball makes that side pocket a bit big, so if I can get under that 2, then it would nicely help me to pocket that 2, and unfortunately there I scratch on that shot. Alright, so those were the mistakes in that rack there, the miss kick on the 2 and the unfortunate scratch there on the 2. That 2 ball doesn't seem to be my friend in this rack here, but nevertheless, let's move forward. The importance here is that once you get an opportunity in practice from the ghost or from a real opponent, it's very important that we learn how to plan our rack. Now you'll see here that I'm calculating my putting angle and how I need to get positioned there on the 3 into the side pocket. So just rolling this cue ball in here, coming 2 reels around nicely into the intended zone that I had indicated earlier. So I land perfectly here on the 3. Now the 4, the 5 and the 6 ball are very close to each other into that bottom half of the table. So I just need to play some pinpoint position here. You'll see that I am actually calculating, I'm planning. I don't just take the shot for granted, not because the 4, the 5 and the 6 are very close. I need to be very deliberate and purposeful with my position play. I know where I need to be. I try to plan how I need to get there, and that's what's important here. Now putting this 4, just drawing out for the 5, I definitely kind of mishit that shot a little bit, but it wasn't mishit to the point where it hurt me, because the 6 ball is very close here. Now you'll see that before I put the 5, I'm already looking at where I need to be on the 7. Now I'm looking that if there's a bank available, I may be able to take on the bank. I definitely don't want to play position for a bank if I don't have to, but you have to also consider all options here. Now potting this 5 and just sliding over, just a little bit of inside spin here, throwing that ball almost stood up into the pocket, but the nice speed here got me position onto the 6. Now the 7 ball is a little bit tricky because obviously I don't have many potable options here. The 7 ball goes into the same pocket where the 6 is. I'm looking at the draw angle here, and if I can draw this cue ball in between the 7 and the 8, this would be perfect. With the right speed, I should be able to get the 7 ball into the top left. Little overroll there, almost snookering myself. After such an entertaining, I would say a rather entertaining start to this rock, you definitely do not want the rock to end like this. So I have a pot here on the 7. It's not very difficult. It's a bit thick though. I have to get position back onto the 8, and I believe the 8, based on the angle that I have here on the 7, the 8 perhaps will have to go into the same pocket as the 7. So it's a bit thick, and I can just about see the spotting angle or the contact spot on that 7 for the out. Now obviously here, as I said, the shot was a bit thick. I landed a little bit nasty here on the 8. I've landed actually on a bank, and you can see that obviously the rock went from one bad shot. I have to always be playing myself into position, and this is very important, as you hear a lot of pro players say that once you get in line, stay in line. But I also do believe in creativity. Here I have a nice bank here onto the 8, and the natural angle on the bank here will bring me 3 rails around for position onto the 9. Let's see the execution here. Beautifully done, coming nicely around. Speed's a bit heavy here on the 9, but we have to make do here, and this is a really good position here on the 9. Fairly good. All right, would have loved to be a bit more perfect, but again, in hindsight, it's not always going to work out the way how we want it to. Again, a little bit of overthinking here. I really knew that the scratch was liable. You'll see that I'm trying to perhaps use a bit of inside spin. I obviously do not want to miss the shot at this point in the rock. I would rather make it get a rather interesting bank or some sort of shot onto the 10 we have to make it, but I definitely do not want to have to miss this 9. And I thought that you'll see here that I went down. I knew that potting this 9, it's most likely will come close to the side pocket, but I could not avoid it, or could I? Here, potting this 9, and you'll see that it was nicely clean. It was nicely and cleanly cut into the pocket. Well, it actually overcut and it scratched. All right, but as I said, guys, it's not about the mistakes that you make, it's about the lessons you learn from the mistakes you make. I was a little bit disappointed in that out, and of course we're just gonna move forward with getting better and better. All right, so I'm just having a little bit of conversation here with a friend of mine. Do take care until next time. I'll see you in another tutorial. Very disappointed in that execution, but it nevertheless worked out, and we are learning from that mistake. So do take care until next time. I'll see you in another tutorial. Bye-bye.